Hello, YouTube. It's Popatachi back here again. Going to bring you some news about masks. This mask, this mask, all the masks. How you guys doing? Thought I would do a little bit of my 3D printing of masks. Obviously, not this type of mask, but when the whole crazy world thing happened, a friend of mine I found out was helping a local makerspace print out masks for frontline workers, anyone who had availability for printing to be able to print out the different parts. So you may have seen these in the news, you may have seen them in your paper. This has been an interesting project to do. There have been a lot of different designs for masks. There have been a lot of different ways to get these files, and a lot of people have tried to either donate or make money or all of the above for these various masks. So this was one that I had used for a while. The main components obviously are the shell of the mask. There is a kind of a gate that you can wrap your filter around. There is a gasket here along the edge to help seal it, and obviously the string or the elastic to keep it on your face. This is, I think, the third or fourth different variation that I had seen and have printed. I also was helping some friends in California to set up a printer farm, essentially. One of the guys I know there set up a printer farm of about probably 8 to 10 different printers. And so I helped him figure out the printers. He got those printers to other people to print, and I helped to um, make sure, get the settings, because these were people who had no idea about the printers. They just kind of wanted to press print and go. And so I helped to get those going for him. I think he may still be printing out masks for people. I am not sure. Last I knew, he was doing pretty well there. So these are various masks that I had printed out. I have a bunch here that I had for the family as well. But in order to have some fun, I also did find there was a website called Gambody or Gambody. I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced, but they had given out a bunch of different files for masks. They had Frozen. They had Sub-Zero, a Sub-Zero mask. They had Wasp. They had Bane. I think now they have a Darth Vader mask, and I think one or two others that I can't recall. So I printed them out. I printed one out, and came out great. I loved it, and so I obviously wanted to finish it, and so here is my Sub-Zero mask, printed in a metallic blue. This goes around my face, and then I usually have some straps in the back to hold it in place. But this has turned out really well. I've been getting a lot of compliments on it, and it was fun. So this one also has some gasket here as well, and there is a small gate where you can put a filter. And so this one actually does have a filter. So this white here that you can see is a filter, and at some point, if I could remove the filter or get rid of the filter, I can make that probably I would paint this gate a metal so that it has a little bit of a sheen behind the black. So this was a really fun print to do. There are a bit of scuffs on it, but overall, awesome. So this is one of those prints that I did on my Ender 3. I actually do have another one. There was someone who said that they had wanted to pay me for the mask, but when I ended up getting it started and printed, they backed out. So now I have this shell here. This one fits okay, as you can see. So I may print this one in. I know there were some other characters for Mortal Kombat. I think there was a smoke, or there was a gray one. There was a green one, I believe. So I may do one of those for this guy. The paint that I used is actually an RC paint. So Tamiya Color, which is a spray paint. This is mainly used, well, not mainly, but I mainly found these cans for RC cars. So this is the metallic blue that I used on my on my on my mask. The print itself was really cool. It took about 32 hours. I know that there are some people who have been able to tune their machines and be able to print these masks, specifically the Sub-Zero mask, at about 21 hours, but I think a lot of theirs did not require a lot of supports. I will say that the supports on this one, trying to get it off, were a little crazy and insane. So it took a lot of processing to just pull the supports off, to sand it down and make sure everything looks good. Here is a quick succession of photos that I had during one of my prints, one of my successful prints anyway. I had to actually print this out, or start printing this out, 3, 4, maybe 5 times, I forget. You can see there the blue tape. That was the main reason, was that the supports kept lifting up off the build plate, even though I would clean it between, and I just couldn't get that working. I increased the size of the skirt to see if that would stick. That didn't really help. I didn't want to put this on a raft, even though I did try once, but even that peeled off. So it was easy enough to stick down the tape and have that actually work well during the entire print. You can kind of see near the end, when it's almost complete, you can see how much it did actually lift, but everything after that point held up pretty well. One of the issues I did find with printing these masks was the fit. So obviously it is not going to fit all faces. This mask in particular is a bit narrow near the ends here, and that basically is around your jawline up here near your cheekbones, or I guess closer to your temple, but near your cheekbones. So you can see here the fit. And on me, this is very snug, but if I were to try to wear this for an extended period of time, this lip at the very top here would just dig in, and it would just cause a lot of pain. So one of the things you can do with 3D printing, especially since this is plastic, you could heat this up either with a heat gun. You can heat it up by hot water, and basically either dip it into the hot water, wait until it's soft, and kind of bend it. What I did with mine was to use a heat gun, and obviously just wear gloves because it's going to be very hot. Trust me, I know. And you will basically bend this out a little bit. You can see here on mine, you can see it's a little bit dented here, because that was me just kind of trying to push it in a little bit every now and then, and I had to figure out, I had to kind of bend it a little bit, and I couldn't just put it on my face because it would just burn my face. Trust me, I know. And wait for it to cool down, try it on, heat it up again, bend, and just kind of work at it that way. There was someone who was a lot smarter than I am, and what he had done was to print off the very top of this piece here, and then just print off this part and then scale it to fit his face. And once he got that fit of the top piece, he made sure to do that same scaling to the entire piece, and also make sure that this part printed off so it would fit, you know, his face to be from his nose to his chin. It's, I think in the post I read, he had about 7 or 8 different test pieces that he printed out, but luckily those were maybe an hour, 2 hours of a print time, versus printing out, 30 to 40 to 60 hours and have it not fit all together, especially if it doesn't fit from your nose to your chin. If it's too small, too big, you can't really squish this down by the heating method. It's a lot easier, and I was lucky that it was just these pieces on the side that I just had to heat up, bend out, and then it would fit. So that's a project for another day. Hope to get to it sometime, but it's going to be kind of on the back burner as I try to finish up all the undone stuff off of my shelves. So that's all I have today for masks. I did print out a scorpion mask that I found. I think I forget the game that it was from. It doesn't look similar to mine. It's much more polygon and has a much crazier effect. I do have a brass filament, so it's very metallic already, which was awesome. I found it on Thingiverse. I printed it out. I did a couple paint touch-ups to the nose area, but that was all that was done with it. I don't have any pictures of it in process, but you'll just have to imagine it for yourself. But I will put a link to the Gambody or the Gambody links to the masks themselves if you want to go and check them out, if you want to print out some for yourself. If you have printed some out of this from the set, or if you have your own masks, I'd love to see them. All right, guys, see you later. um, so, there were. Hello, YouTube. God, come on, really?